If you clicked on this video, you're most likely a Pokemon fan like I am. And I want you to ask yourself, when was the last time that Game Freak produced a genuinely good Pokemon game? Well, of course, that's a bit subjective because it depends on where you stand. You could definitely be in the camp that they just came out with one with Sword and Shield, but you could also inversely be in the camp that the only good one was Gen 1. Now, if you've seen my other videos, you most likely know where I stand, where I think their last good main series titles were Black and White 2. It's not that necessarily Gen 6 and beyond are awful games by any means. I mean, they play fine, they have minimal bugs, and you can still participate in good old children's dogfighting. That being said, I do believe they suffer bad gameplay design choices, such as drastically decreased difficulty, far more linear hand-holding and progression, and of course the lack of a national dex that just leaves fans like me, very long-term fans, very disappointed. I think I can speak on the behalf of a lot of people when I say hiding so many of those Pokemon in the national dex behind very expensive DLC isn't quite the best move. With all of these different design decisions and just the overall laziness from Game Freak, the Pokemon Company, and Nintendo, it kind of begs the question, are future Pokemon games doomed to suck? A key principle in capitalism is that we vote with our wallets. For example, if we want to see more crappy Sharknado movies in theaters, all we need to do is go and buy more tickets. Likewise, if we want to keep seeing Pokemon games, all we need to do is hand Nintendo our money. But that doesn't necessarily impact the quality of what we're gonna get back. And honestly, name me a single Pokemon game in the comments that was not a financial success, that did not turn a profit. Not even the likes of the super buggy garbage fest that was Hey You Pikachu, or the microtransaction heavy Pokemon Shuffle could poke financial holes in the franchise. Honestly, for crying out loud, if you just slap the Pokemon franchise name on like anything, it's like corporate pixie dust. It's going to turn a profit. If I made a Pokemon loading screen simulator, provided I had the official license and the okay from Nintendo, comparing the cost of development and the cost of publishing that game, I really think it would still turn a profit. That's not to say that Pokemon is invincible, but there are two corporate mice that rule over the entertainment industry. And let me just be honest, I think taking down Pikachu would be just as hard, if not maybe even harder, than taking down Mickey Mouse himself. I'm certain that there are tons and tons of passionate developers on the Pokemon team who do not want to see this game series fail. They want to see it succeed. They want to see it innovate. They want to see it grow to new heights. I know a little bit of what this is like as of working in the software industry myself. I haven't worked in games, but I have worked in software, and let me tell you, it's usually not the devs' fault. It's usually the publishers for pushing out just rushed and buggy stuff. These developers are most likely pushed by the publishers to just produce mediocre stuff that just passes a certain bar that's low effort so they could just make money. Given that, why would you even make a better game? No point in putting any more effort to just get the same result, especially if you could sell to kids. You might be asking, Jex, why is it so bad to appeal to children? Well, it's not, but it can catalyze an already existing problem in quality. For example, let's look at YouTube's kids content, specifically stuff like, you know, the Kinder Surprise egg videos. Alright, they don't take much effort to make. They used to, until Copper rolled around, make a ton of money, and you don't see kids, you know, criticizing the quality of their Kinder Egg videos or their J-Station garbage. They just eat them up. If you want to learn more about the science behind that, check out James Brindle's TED Talk. Now, that was a bit of an extreme example, but the point is you don't really see kids expressing huge criticisms or dissecting exactly what they're consuming. Now, you might argue, well, so much of Pokemon's audience are college students or professional adults or teenagers or anyone outside of the children age bracket. And I get it, you're absolutely correct. but such a large chunk of that audience and Pokemon's money suppliers do fit in that younger than 13 category. From personal experience, I remember having a cousin who was obsessed with Pokemon Shuffle when he was around 6 years old. And I remember I was at like a family reunion or something along those lines, and his dad just like straight up gave him $20 of microtransactions in that game just to get the kid to shut up. These types of customers are referred to as cash whales, where they tend to drop tons and tons and tons and tons of money into a good or product, especially those that are freemium and have microtransactions that have no real value when we're in regards to financial assets. This leads me into talking about the recently released Pokemon Unite, which I personally really love, but hate to see it in its current state of pay to win. You see, there are held items in Pokemon Unite that increase your pocket monster's HP, attack damage, speed, you name it, they've got it. And you can upgrade those items with what are known as item enhancers, which you can grind out, or inversely, you can just straight up buy with their microtransaction currency called gems. So what ends up happening is you end up choosing between a super tough grind or just straight up just paying for the product. And you can already see cash whales start to accumulate themselves up the ranks, and that actually has become a serious problem in the community. And I can honestly bet to you that most of the people who are climbing up those ranks with the pay-to-win tactics are probably kids who got access to their mom's credit card. And as I mentioned before, we vote with our wallets, so if we keep buying microtransactions, they're gonna keep appearing. And without proper competition, I'm afraid that we're gonna keep getting freemium games with insane grinds / crazy microtransactions, or we're gonna get mediocre main series titles. Another key principle in capitalism is that competition tends to drive up quality while driving down prices. Do you guys remember Skype? Well, barely anyone even uses it now with superior apps such as Discord, Slack, and Zoom. Well, okay, I'm not sure the last one's superior, but you get the point. These apps are all competing with each other for a bigger piece of the pie, and how they go about this is they constantly add new features, and they optimize their code, and they have better interactions with their customers. Your grocery stores, computers, and video games are no different. When there is legitimate competition that threatens to put you out of business, you are going to either increase the quality of your product or make it more accessible by driving down prices. You guys remember the Sega versus Nintendo console wars? Yeah, when they were going up against each other, they were putting up bigger ads, bigger games, and they were trying to innovate with bigger features. Sega even went as far as, and not very many people know this, to make the Sega Channel, which allowed the Sega Genesis to connect online, to play games online, to try out demos, and even get cheat codes. And while it wasn't necessarily effective, it was innovative. Coming back to Pokemon, I'm concerned that the lack of competition is going to keep the franchise from taking big risks that could lead to huge rewards. Now, you might argue that Pokemon Legends Arceus is going to be a huge risk for the franchise and it's going to put the franchise in a new and positive direction, but personally, I'm not entirely convinced. I pre-ordered Cyberpunk 2077 back when that one was coming out, and honestly, it was just a stylish, watered-down version of Far Cry. And I'm afraid that my bets currently are that Pokemon Legends Arceus is gonna become a watered-down version of Breath of the Wild. Now, don't get me wrong, I am excited for the potential that Pokemon Legends Arceus has, but I have to keep my hype down low for now. If something like Temtem were to actually become a financial success and rival Pokemon, I really think it would be for the best, because it would suddenly make Game Freak, Nintendo, and the Pokemon Company all suddenly just start questioning their own formula. This all leads us back to the question of the day: are Pokemon games doomed to suck? Well, I'm afraid that my current answer is, unless something changes, I don't really see this franchise doing anything but stagnating. Now, what can we do about that? Well, I really think that we should vote with our wallets. If freemium stuff starts popping up, I implore you, unless it's really worth it, to not spend your money on egregious microtransactions and to not give way into the pay-to-win stuff. I also advise you to very critically think about what you purchase, especially with these games. Only make a purchase if you really think that this game is going to provide you far more enjoyment than simply just a box with Pokemon on it. I don't want to see Pokemon go out of business. I only want to see them improve from here on out because it is a franchise I dearly, dearly love. If we want to see that happen, then we as consumers need to rally together and make intelligent purchases so that way Nintendo and Game Freak and the Pokemon Company knows that they need to be producing better content that is pro-consumer. I've been Gentleman Jax. Consider checking out this video over here and stay classy.